Welcome back, guys. So, apparently, I've been reporting these few days about Anuj and Anupama having issues in their marriage, and Anuj wanted to divorce Anupama, and because of Little Anu and Maya's story. Now, finally, guys, the worst have happened because Anuj finally have left Anupama in this episode. That is what we're talking about. After 26 years of waiting, whatever they are saying was, the story he bought when he was falling in love with Anupama have finally crashed in less than a year. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, in case you haven't, as we jump straight into the video of today. Devika stops Anupama from going behind Anuj and says that he returns once his anger calms down. Anupama runs, saying that she wouldn't have bothered if it was her husband that have said all this, but it was actually a father that is saying all this. Diraj tells Devika that love gives pain and also heals wound. Anuj and Anupama love is very strong and it will not let misunderstanding continue very soon. Dimple prays God to set things right between Anuj and Anupama, and Anupama enters Anuj's room and locked in herself from inside. At the Shah house, Kafia tells Hashmog that he is feeling anxious and is worried for Anupama. Sama calls Anupama and finds out she's not picking, and he tries Dimple's call. Hashmog insists to visit Anupama right away. The family asks him to wait till Sama replies. Devika, however, confronts Baka for not trying to stop Anuj or even support Anupama. Baka says it's Anupama's mistake as she didn't listen to her when she repeatedly asked her not to let Maya stay at their house, that this wouldn't have happened if Anupama have heard her. Devika says that if she provoked Anuj against Anupama, and Ankush wants her to mind her tongue. Later on, Anupama pleads Anuj not to go or else she will go with him everywhere she goes, and also they'll spend time away from the world where only both of them will be. Devika cries that Anupama doesn't deserve all this and they owe to become like Anupama and Anuj, and now they are separating. And now Dimple offers her water and herself breaks down seeing how Anupama is. Ankush notices something in Baka's mind and asks what is she thinking, and Baka says that if Anuj leaves, and he and Adik will take over Anuj's business until he return and prove their competency. This is what this one is even thinking. Anupama shows Anuj gifts and photos and reminds him how much they've loved each other, and asks her happiness would be confirmed to the photos. She keeps the photos in her bag and says that they will go together or they will not, and asks how can they change. How can they change so quickly? They used to fight for each other and not fight with each other. She continues to plead with Anuj and reminds him that he knew about her responsibilities and relationship and accepted her with all her baggages. Then what have happened now? She promised not to let her old relationship get in her way with him and says that she will stay with him forever. She continues her best to convince Anuj to stay with her, but Anuj stands senselessly. She asks, why did you give me your hand if you will definitely let go of my hand then? And Pama says that all my efforts are going in vain, as Anuj is even refusing to look at her. Devika and others wait outside hoping Anuj will calm down and come out of his room smiling. Diraj helps them and they say that they can't wait and also they'll see what happens next. Devika says that she can't wait to see Anuj smiling again. Anuj removes his and Anupama's wedding photo from his bag and walks out of the room, leaving Anupama in shock. Anupama then runs behind Anuj. Everyone is shocked seeing that Diraj tries to snatch his bag and wants him not to act mad. Anuj says let him go. Dira stabs him and asks him to look at his wife Anupama's condition and ask him if he's losing his mind for a small issue. Anu shouts it is not a small issue for him. He asks Ankush to check his email that he have transferred the power of attorney in Ankush and Anupama's name. First, the lawyer will explain. Anupama pleads him not to go. He says that he's suffocating with Anupama's presence again. Like this Anuj, I'm just hating Anuj's character these days, even though he's having emotional breakdown. This is something that he can solve. It's not like the girl or the little Anu even died though, you understand? If you said the girl kuku die kwanu, he will just do the worst. And now the power of attorney that Baka and Kush have been longing to have, they finally had it. Imagine to that extent. Anyways, Anuj tells Anupama that I'm suffocating your presence again, and she grabs his face and says that if he loves her or not. He frees himself and walks away senselessly. Anupama stands watching, reciting a poem in her heart. Anuj also recites a poem in his mind. Anupama recalls their first meeting, their marriage, adopted Little Anu leaving them, and Anuj revealing that he doesn't love Anupama anymore. He shouts Anuj and collapses. Diraj and others rushes to her. Anyways, guys, I'm getting angry already in this episode. I don't even know how to continue this update. So this is what will happen. This is what is happening. I'm stopping here. I'm really upset. The most shocking part of this update is that immediately Anuj left Anupama, he now went straight to Maya's house. He now went straight to Maya's house. When Maya now saw Anuj in her house, and Maya was now like telling herself, Anuj 26 years old love of Anupama just vanished all of a sudden just because of love of her little daughter, and so on and so forth. And the whole story, guys, is building up to Anuj and Maya getting married. You know, get what you go tell me. Well, I go believe say this thing no go happen. Definitely Anuj will marry Maya to bring back little Anu or whatever. And this is how Indian movies used to spoil their story that is beautiful. I'll keep you guys updated if there's a continuation to this drama, which there is. And thanks for watching again. Bye, guys.